We're talking fast!
I'm buying a lot of heals. Okay.
Just gonna restock.
Okay.
My turn's done, but you know, I'm just doing this. I went and grabbed you a cap. You'll have to.
Okay. Yeah.
Fast stuff for white mage.
Yeah, it works.
Okay, cool. We're getting that then. What's the effects? Like the technical effect?
No, I'm just looking at. I just looked up spells that do not work. That's what I looked up.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Does ice and fire work?
They work. The only spells that don't work are TMPR,
Temper,
SABR,
Saber,
Xfer, Lock,
that's one of the instruments.
Lock 2. Well, sorry, Lock always misses. Lock 2 actually increases the evasiveness of the target.
That's stupid. Another one we never used because that stuff sucked.
Hell 2 and Hell 3. HEL.
Heal 2 and Heal 3.
They work. That's how the battle's designed. But Heal 2 does as much healing as Heal 3 in battle. So Heal 2 is actually better in combat.
Yeah.
So basically, if you bought Heal 2, you bought a second Heal 3. Or a second buy Heal 3, buy a second Heal 2. Whatever.
I don't know if we even have any softs, but there are cockatrices and mummies in there, so you will need softs.
And how do you defeat a cock? Make it soft.
Use fire.
I hope not.
Burn that cock. They never had a weenie.
Oh, is that why that last name exists? Cockburn?
Yes, or the family was...
Or as they call it...
Small dicks.
Or is this pronounced Coburn, but we know it's not. It's spelled Cockburn.
Too much masturbation.
British people think we're funny for saying Scarborough and Peterborough instead of, because they say bra. They say bra instead of, they say Scarborough.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. It's a borough. Like, they don't know what a borough is. Ah! It's an American version, that's why. Okay.
Yep. Well, of course it is.
Well, it's just the ROM. I don't know. They could have ripped the Canadian one. They didn't, though. If they ripped the Canadian slash,
It's the same one, dude.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The Canadian one actually has Lynxgrave there instead of Edric.
No, that's the Japanese.
The Canadian one is based closer to the Japanese translation.
Okay, you must have the American copy, though, because I remember when we played it back in the day, it said Erdrick on it.
Some of them have it, some of them have the Canadian one. We had, as a kid, we had the one, but yeah. The one copy I have now is whatever, but I know for a fact that there's the Canadian one and there's the American one, and they had two different translations for it. It had Link there, and I think also in the Canadian one slash Japanese one, it calls him Sid when he's telling you about the floater. I get there from you. Bro, come on. Starting off right away with sleeves.
What are you trying to get again?
I'm going to the ice cave for you.
Oh, okay, you're just getting there? Okay.
Yeah, because do you want to try to find your way back there?
You can go explore.
That's fair.
It's like, there's a copy of Super Mario 2 where on the pin set there's a gap in some of the pins, and because it was just because they used a different like board for it for that certain version of Mario 2. It's a really rare version to find it. I'm not sure what kind of version it is, but it just has those two pins missing, and it's like a chipboard for the same game, but that chipboard can be wiped out, and it is the original Super Mario 2 does not work this way, but that specific one can be wiped out, and then you can put Final Fantasy 3 on it because it will work on that. Because you need a specific one for that. Or maybe it wasn't Final Fantasy 3 that would work on it. I just know that there's this guy who I used to follow. He was from Toronto. This is where you'll get the floater. This is where you put the floater in. It's in that little spot there in that desert. But when I was a kid, I found this website, and this guy in Toronto, he would wipe out carts for you. If you put, like, for instance, he would make you a custom printed label for Final Fantasy 3, and he would put the English ROM onto an actual cart for you, but you needed to give him $20 and sometimes a card that he could use for other stuff. So, for instance, to get the Final Fantasy III ROM, he specifically requested that you give him the Super Mario 2 card. He said it wasn't always for that exact game, like you didn't need it. He might not have needed it for Final Fantasy III, but he might have needed it for something else, and that was the only way he was willing to trade it. But I just remember looking that up for a while there. Because I told my buddy Kalen about it, we were gonna order a few games, we just never did it. He reached out to the guy and asked to just go up there because he didn't want to pay for delivery. I'm like, dude, just get it delivered. You're cheap as hell. But I spent so much time just trying to find a special copy of that Super Mario.
Okay. So, yeah, I didn't know that. So, yeah, so there's a... the Canadian version is the one that was published by Mattel.
Okay.
So, it's not published by Nintendo for some reason, even though Nintendo of Canada was publishing NES games that late.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a different screw. The only way you can tell the difference is the Canadian version has a gold label on the back that has French on it as well.
Yeah.
Because
it'll say CAN as well. It'll say 1985 CAN.
Mm-hmm.
All the Canadian copy games do so.
So that must have been before they had a Canadian office for Nintendo.
Yeah, it was also that in Canada we had slightly different laws and regulations for stuff. So some things weren't supposed to be edited. All that. That's why we got to have the Game Genie here. They shut it down. We got to do that. So. That was cool. There's a lot of weird technical
good old
stuff.
America.
They were going around this weird thing to do Nintendo games here, to print them off and make our own stuff here, to have production.
I knew that they were producing that NES games as late as like mid-90s were still being released, because in this is an old video, but like Rude from the Clan of the Great Wolf did a 16-bit Gems episode on Earthbound, and apparently they were going. Nintendo of Canada was going to release Earthbound, the NES Earthbound, in 1994, but they decided against it because the strategy guide would have had to be printed in English and French.
Oh,
so that's why they didn't do it. And originally there was a prototype found of Earthbound Zero, which is now known as Earthbound Beginnings, set for a Mr. Yamauchi, which it just so happens to be the head of Nintendo in Japan. Yamauchi was them, but he doesn't play video games at all. He just never played video games. But there was a Yamauchi in the Nintendo of Canada, so it just so happened there was a guy with the same last name as the president of the main company who worked at the Canadian branch. So
yeah.
That's how the prototype originally that was dumped into Earthbound Zero was. Which it was literally just... people think they literally just took the translation Phil Sandhop made and just sent it to Canada and were like, here, see if you can use this.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting that they were going to release the game in English, but they'd have to release the manual in Japanese, or in French.
Yeah.
Even though the game was in English, so...
Just that translation and that printing is what I was frustrated.
Yeah. Because they don't release games in the US with manuals that are in English and Spanish.
Yeah.
It's just more of a guideline, I guess, for games here. That's why so many games don't have manuals anymore.
All products have to have the French and English. All of our labels do. Like, everything does, right? It's a Canadian law. I'm surprised America doesn't enforce it with Spanish. Because, you know, they literally just took over some Mexican type cities and just were like, yeah, that's ours now. We own Los Angeles now. I'm like, yeah, Los Angeles? You don't think that was, like, the Mexican city? The one they just stole? So I'm like, yeah, I figured you'd have to show some roots for that.
Yeah.
But they do not. Oh, you can fight giants here. Interesting. Never really run into a giant.
Not really worth it now.
No. I just left my boat down there. Shit. Yeah. This is such a, there's a million twisting ways, but there's only one path to get into the ice cave. There's like 3 to go to the volcano, so I was hoping that there was another one that they could all connect, because if you look at the map, it just looks like they do, but they don't. So we gotta get the boat, which I think they left down here. just because I saw a canoe and I was like, oh, I can find my path in there. No, I can't. I went every path I could. It's just the one, and I gotta go up here from the side. Come on, man. Screw up.
I see, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the port you go to normally get in there, but I just need to go up there. I'm not even fighting these guys, I don't care. I don't need $360, turns out.
We only need Xbox for $60.
I do need this to get the ice key, so...
My laundry's also done in 10 minutes, so we might have to stop for a sec. So I could switch it over the last batch.
But I should just be able to get you right there now, so...
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use... I bought a bunch of houses and cabins and stuff, so you can just use one right outside there, so you can get your spells back and your health back and everything, so... Right outside, because you use a house, you get all that stuff back.
Yeah.
Although, I found it doesn't actually do it properly, it doesn't fill up your magic if you don't click save.
Yeah.
Annoying, stupid.
Before you do it, though, I'll probably make a save state.
Yeah. Well, you want to save state before you do it. Man, like, that's a disgusting critical that you just did to it, bro. What the hell? Ocho!
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 Yeah, Ocho Jumbo, yeah, Ocho Jumbo.
And the saddest part is that this is not the last time we'll be going.
Yeah, you gotta come back here?
You don't have to, but we're going to. Because right before you get the chest that has the floater in it,
yeah,
there is an eyeball, an evil eye you have to fight.
Oh,
it's
fun.
automatic because it's in front of the chest, so every time you walk in front of it, you just fight that guy.
Okay.
And he has the ability to do XXX, which will just instantly kill your guys, which can suck ass. But you can just go back and forth and not grab the floater, and just keep fighting that eye after we've evolved. And it's just massive experience and money. Massive experience and money. Like, it's ridiculous. All you have to do is get right to the end there and just keep fighting that guy. That guy dies in, like, a turn.
Yeah.
He's not super strong, he just can kill you. Like, he's...
Right.
You know, it's dangerous to get there. It's the last thing you have to fight before you just escape.
So don't save or anything, just stop right in front of it, and then I'll end this section. We'll start another one after my laundry's done.
Well, I'm gonna use a pen.
Well, don't yet. Don't do it yet. That's what I'm saying. I'll end the video, we'll save our 2 ways, and then we'll come back and do it. So don't do it just yet.
Why not just use the...
Because we'll do it next time on Power Plays.
The big excitement of using the tent!
We're actually not going to do it. It's going to happen off screen, but still, whatever.
Yeah.